Alright, calling all business owners and operators. If your business does not take calls, skip this. But if it does, this calculator might show you exactly how much money you're losing every day by not using voice AI. I built a Google Sheet that lets you plug in a few numbers and instantly see how much money you're losing and how much voice AI could recover. There's even an optimized mode with Twilio cost cutting built in. It's completely free and you'll find a link in the description. And I'll walk you through exactly how to use it in just a moment. And hey, if the numbers make sense, I'll show you how we can implement this in your business using Bland.ai. My contact details are inside the sheet and in the YouTube description. Let's get into this. As you can see, everything's all set up. All you have to fill in is all of these, alright? So over here, we've got all the monthly costs for the Bland and Make and everything involved, Twilio. All the numbers, all the formulas and everything are all done, right? So all you have to do is fill in these, right? So let's all make an example and we'll see how much money we can save, alright? So let's say I'm a small business and I receive 5 calls a day, alright? And during my off hours or during calls that I'm taking, I sometimes miss, let's just say 2 a day, alright? So now how good am I at converting? Well, you see inbound calls, people are warm, right? They want to talk to you. Let's just say calls convert at around 60%, right? Setting up meetings and everything. Right, these are decimal, by the way. This is a decimal. I can't figure out the percentage. I can click the percentage button up here, but it doesn't, stay. So you can keep that there, or you can leave that as decimal percentage, right? So let's say relatively high ticket customer, 1.5 thousand sounds about right per revenue per customer. And the average call, which you can just, check your call logs and do some math and get that. But let's just say for us, our average call is around 4 minutes, alright? Let's say I have a staff, or you can do this yourself by seeing how long you spend every day taking calls and just do a percentage of your, annual revenue, times it by that. But let's just say I have a staff that I pay $2,000 every single month, alright, to take these calls. And yeah, everything's already done, alright? So let me just go through everything first. So this is going to be partial. So what I mean by partial is that this is the cost for using voice AI to take your missed calls only, alright? So you set this up to only take your calls during off hours or when you're busy, which is easy to do. And as you can see, you've got the Bland number, which is $15 a month, the credit from Bland, which you have to use, and the backend cost. So if you have a complicated AI backend, you have to pay $10 for Make. But if it's relatively simple, you can just use the free Make. I've done that for a few clients, but let's just assume that we're gonna need $10 Make or the Make subscription. Alright, so we also have this Twilio built in, right? The Twilio numbers and Twilio, the 2 Twilio costs, fixed and variable. Now I've got this in because you can actually dig deeper and get much cheaper on the Bland side. You don't even need this Bland number of $15 a month. You can just buy an American Twilio number for $1 a month, and you have to pay the variable amount, which is still adds up less to a Bland number. To an extent, there is certain cases you can mess around with the calculator where the Twilio number will be more expensive. That's when you have a high volume. But anyways, that's for partial, right? And I've also done the full. So let's just say we have this on all the time and takes all your inbound calls. So that's this will calculate that. So let's get to the interesting bit, right? So all the formulas, all the credit costs, the current costs and everything are all here. And let's talk about the monthly figures, all right? So right now you don't have any voice AI and all those missed calls are costing you, for this business, $54,000 on the dot, right? How nice is that? So yeah, so we're just assuming the month is 30 days, right? So you are losing $54,000 in revenue from the missed calls, right? We're gonna assume that it is surprising. It's a lot of money. And the math is correct, right? So we're gonna assume this is a much less conversion rate to the person. It normally isn't, right? AI is quite smart. I write a little note here. You can change the amount by just changing this, all right? But currently, we're gonna assume the conversion rate is worse than a human being, just so even if it performs worse than a real human, it's still very much profitable, right? So you're losing this much revenue by not using voice AI, right? Let's say you do use voice AI, okay, and then you're gonna take the associated costs and things with it. So you're gonna make this much, right? This is how much money you can make by just implementing voice AI. When I show it to clients, they go crazy, right? This is real, right away. This is all the maths. There's gonna be a lot more business metrics you can put in, but this is the big boy numbers that are already used, right? So you can save around $42,000 in this instance, this business, right? This is a small, medium-sized business we just made up. That's a lot of money just for implementing voice AI, and this is just for your missed calls, right? You set this up on your off hours or when you're busy. This is how much you'll save, right? It's a lot of money, and the number adjacent to it is using the Twilio modifications we put in. So that's like cost cutting, right? So you save a little bit more money. That's a lot of money, right? That's a profit, by the way. I've already taken away the cost, and I've added this 2,000 back because you're not paying that person anymore. right? Realistically, you would still use them, but this is just assuming that you're using them just for the calls, right? So this one at the bottom is a bit of a crazy one. That's just assuming you're replacing the whole call system with this, right? So this is how much, this is your new monthly profit in total, right? So that's that. It's really that simple, real simple calculator. And if this number in particular, this middle one, and this interests you a lot, send me an email. We'll talk about how we can set it up in your system. And be sure to subscribe. I'm going to make lots more voice content, alright? So thank you.